Welcome to The System Works, the lifestyle channel that shows you a practical way to live, the what's in it for you. The System Works. Own it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to an episode of The System Works. I am your host, Ernest Phillips, and today is an amazing day because I get to tell one of the most unique stories that I have in the world, and it's in golf, and it is a great example of when your personal brand meets your professional brand. All right. If you can see my shirt, hold on. I had a chance to volunteer at the 2025 PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. Wow, what an awesome experience. I was a hole marshal on hole number 3, and for those of you who are not into golf, bear with me because this is a huge golf story, and I promise we will get to the personal brand and the professional brand. It'll make sense, I promise. All right, so for the details for the golfers, par 3, the hole goes down, goes up, swings around a big tree, and then kind of hooks over. And it's a par 4 hole. And I was a marshal basically behind the tree. So we had a blind shot from the tee box, so we couldn't see the people hitting off. And what would happen is they would hit into the rough, and they couldn't see it, and we were spotters. And we would locate the ball, make sure we know where it is, kind of move back, and that way when the golfer comes up, they can find their ball very easily. Now there are three marshals and ball spotters. And this is the threesome that is playing. You got Jason Day, Tommy Fleetwood, and Phil Mickelson. Okay? This is a major. This is so way cool. Now, Jason Day hits his ball into the rough, and we spot it, and the other person who, he was another spotter, he spots it, points, and then we back off. Tommy Fleetwood hits his ball into the fairway. And by the way, this is on a Friday, so everyone is trying to make the cut. This is a big time. Okay, Tommy Fleetwood hits his into the fairway. Phil Mickelson hits his into the rough, maybe 10, 15 feet in front and to the right of Jason Day's ball. Now, again, if you are a golfer, yeah, this really happened. The spotter on the way to spotting Phil Mickelson's ball steps on Jason Day's ball, smushing it into the rough. Okay, if you're a golfer, you just bristled. Right, holy buckets. This was it was bizarre. Could not believe I saw it. And a few people in the gallery saw it. And he stepped on it, kept walking, pointed to Phil Mickelson's ball, and he turns around and he looks at the gallery and he does this. And my eyes did that. I wide open. Okay, if you don't golf, this is a horrible thing. It makes the ball very difficult to hit. It is, if you're playing with your friends, I mean, that's cheating. That is against the rules. Now, I have no power to do anything. I can't make this, I can't undo this. Here's my personal brand. Fairness. Ugh. Remember, I'm the guy that says, that's not fair. Fairness. I love the game of golf. One of my passions. Truth. One of my highest values. Love. My number 1 value. Respect. One of my top 4 values. This is not good. Professional brand. Communication. One of my top. Conflict management, top. Problem solving, top. And I'm talking about communication, message sent and message received. Okay. How do I blend both? I immediately, right after I see him do the shush, I immediately find a hole captain. I let him know very expeditiously. This is what happened. That person stepped on Jason Day's ball going to spot Phil Mickelson's. We need to get a rule official. We need to call the other hole captain. We need to do something. This cannot stand. Now, like I said, I didn't have any power, but I had the authority and the influence to share what I saw. He had the authority to call the other hole captain, and the hole captain had the authority to then get a rules official. The rules official comes over, and he's looking at the three of us after he has been notified by the hole captain of what's going on, and he looks at the hole marshals, and he says, which one of you did it? And we pointed at this guy so fast, he did it. He did it. Because in my world, I'm thinking, you've already tried to hush, so I'm going to make sure you don't have a chance to bow out now. It's too late. They ask him, okay, did you kick it? Did you nudge it? Did you step on it? And he paused. And at the same moment as 3 or 4 people in the gallery said it, he stepped on it. You are not about to break a rule. This magnitude, this is their job. This is what they do for a living. This can make their day way worse. Not going to happen on my watch. So the rule official talked to Jason Day, gave him the options, and Jason Day got to essentially pick the ball up and give himself a new lie. Ended up being a better lie than what was, but may not have been better than original, but that's the rules. Thankfully, he hit, and he ended up still getting a par. Later, we would talk about the story, and I would tell them what happened, and I'm talking to some of the other marshals and the other volunteers, and they said, oh my gosh, we're so glad you did that. My thought is, there was no other option. That was the absolute only option I had in my mind, because in my mind, not doing that would have had to have gone against every one of my top values, half of my top 50 values. I mean, I would have had to have broken every rule that my brain, my heart has to say nothing. I didn't think about the risk. I didn't think about what someone might say. I wasn't worried about that guy's feelings. I wasn't worried that that guy might have said, oh my gosh, you told on me and I'm mad at you, or that was wrong or disrespectful. It didn't matter. And my personal brand and my professional brand overlapped in the same moment. Now, what do I get out of this? The same thing you will get out of this if you do it. The Wi-Fi, the what's in it for you, living on brand is one of the funnest and coolest things in the world, because I don't have any regrets. It didn't matter what would have happened negatively. I would have had no regrets doing what I did, saying what I said. What's the tug tip out of this? Intentions always matter. My intention was the correct thing. My intention was to adhere to the rules. My intention was to make sure Jason Day had a fair chance to do what he was doing. My intention was to make sure no one was going to cheat Jason Day out of something. That was my intention. That fits my brand. And I did it with conviction. And now I have one of the coolest stories. And now you've heard the story. I'm going to be dining out on this story forever. I could easily be on my deathbed going, there's this one time I was a marshal and this guy stepped on Jason's Day ball and I told on him. And I'm going to giggle. I got to actually influence the 2025 PGA Championship, a major, because my personal brand and my professional brand meant more to me than anything else. What are some additional benefits that came out of it? A couple of marshals requested me to come back and volunteer again. Wow, what a compliment. By the way, that was the first time I'd ever volunteered at an event. Wow, what a compliment. I ended up making friends and some really good connections. Made connections with one guy who wants me to help him get one of his books published. It was just layer after layer of being able to share that story because it's a fun, crazy, unique story. But then people were able to see my character, see my values. The next time you get a chance to show your personal brand or your professional brand, do it. Do it with the intention of simply living out your values. That in it of itself is one of the best Wi-Fi's I can ever give you. You will not regret living out your values. And living without regrets, that's a nice thing. We'll see you next time. We hope you enjoyed this episode of The System Works. Have fun with the action steps. Enjoy the Wi-Fi's. Click like, click subscribe, and comment. The good and the bad, we like them all. We look forward to seeing you next time. The System Works. Own it.